My name is Steve Swisher, coach for HVA. I coach 18 Performance Blue boys. Why does volleyball build more social skills and confidence than football? I think that football is a great sport to play if you are a genetically gifted young individual. Football is a very hard sport. Obviously, I played both football and volleyball, and I got a lot more benefits out of playing volleyball, I believe, than football. In football, it's coached very hard. You have a run through a wall mentality. There are places to play for those who have that physical gift, who have that mental ability to run through a brick wall, but not everybody has that. Not everybody has the physical, the genetic, the mindset to do that. And that's kind of where volleyball is a fantastic opportunity to get the kid into a sport and onto the floor and get a different type of experience. The size, the physicality, that is the first talking point, I believe. In volleyball, we have a whole wide range of opportunities to play, no matter your size, your skill level, how you start, where you finish last season. A good volleyball coach can really take a player and transform him into somebody who can be impactful on the court. In volleyball, we have a lot of different positions. Obviously, being caller gives you an advantage in the front row, but our liberos and our setters, for the most part, are on the smaller side. And those liberos and setters can impact the game cerebrally by running a great offense, by being good team leaders, by inspiring their teammates to have an impact on the game. It's not only that we need to be bigger, stronger, more aggressive in volleyball. That certainly helps in certain situations, but overall there really is an opportunity for everybody to play. Number two, there's a lot of advantages for the development of young people's brains by playing volleyball over football. Let me explain. I think that it's very well documented in my scientific community about the effects of CTE in football players. Whether or not a young man is suffering from CTE or suffering from some type of brain injury, by playing football, they're gonna have some type of effect on their brains. Will it be horribly negative? Probably not. But that doesn't really exist in volleyball. What does exist in volleyball is an environment that's constantly changing. We are constantly trying to figure out where the ball is coming over the net, who the next person to get it is. There's an infinite amount of ways that the ball can be hit back over the net. We have to figure out on the fly, in a split second, where that ball is going, pass it correctly, you get it in the right spot. That setter has to get it to the right hitter. The hitter has to put the ball down. So that all happens in 2.5 seconds. We need to be very quick on our feet and quick on our minds to understand what's happening. And the longer you play volleyball, the more aware you are. Having played both sports, I can speak to there being a lot more mentally successful teammates that I've had in the past. And that's not to say, again, that football is a terrible sport or anything, but I've had valedictorians on my team. I've had lots of team leaders. I've had lots of guys now that are playing that are leaders of their company. And I think a lot of that really does come from the coordination, the different types of mental elasticity that we need in order to play this game. It is a hard game to play, despite how it looks from the outside. Very, very difficult. Something I tell my team all the time is, whether it's at the beginner level or the pro level, we're all playing on an 8-foot net with the same size ball. The only difference is what those players on the court know, their awareness, and their physical skills. And we can learn how to get there. Everybody can learn how to get there. We're all starting from zero. So that kind of sets us apart, I think, from football. And my third point about the difference in football and volleyball is community. I know that volleyball community is a great way to develop ourselves as young men, as community leaders, as a way to give back. And as you grow past high school, there's an opportunity to continue playing. There's an opportunity to continue meeting people. There's always opportunities to coach and mentor younger players. You don't have to, be a football coach that's on the field with a team that's got pads on. You can pull one guy aside and say, hey, here's what I noticed about you, and here's something that you can improve on. And you can impact that person's life. I have countless friends, married to, engaged with, have kids with people in the volleyball community. My best friends are guys that I met my first day of volleyball when I was a freshman in high school. The wives that I introduced half of them to were volleyball players at a different school. So it really is a community that you can grow with, that you can evolve with, that you can become a man in, and really set yourself up for success in life by being a part of it. I can actually speak to both of those. So when we started, I had an athlete who was timid, who was favoring an injury, who was kind of sitting himself out of certain plays and practices. And I could kind of tell that it wasn't anything to do with his skills on the court. It had to do with his personality and kind of being unsure about how he fit in the social setting with the rest of the guys on the team. So we immediately started working on that. I put him in a position where the team had to rely on him. And within 3 weeks, he was the starting setter on our team. And within 5 weeks of when we started, he was voted captain by his peers. He's now an outspoken leader. He is now somebody who will pull another teammate to the side and give him coaching tips. Very talented in volleyball, but he needed to get over that hump socially in order to take the next step in his career. And I think that he did that in a very short period of time. Volleyball is so social because it is the ultimate team sport. We cannot succeed on the court unless all 6 players are on the court are working together. Nobody in the front row can hit it unless there's a good pass. The setter can't set it unless there's a good pass. Hitter can't hit it unless there's a good set. We all genuinely rely on each other. I fully believe that there's no other sport like it. And physically, so much confidence can be gained by an athlete by continuing to be consistent in how we prepare to play. And by that, I mean, I currently have an athlete who is got a great arm swing, tallest on the team, one of the most athletic on the team, can't hit the ball in bounds. In 2 practices, the last 2 practices, we put him on a box and I tell him that his team is depending on him to hit the ball in the court. And his team has consequences if he doesn't get it in. And wouldn't you know it, immediately that change is made. He can hit the ball in the court. He can follow through. He knows what he's supposed to do. Very coachable guy. And then at the end of practice today, we were working on terminating plays and making sure we're using the correct swing in the correct environment. And he was putting balls away, scoring points when we needed to. So it really is a sport where we can take very big athletic leaps and bounds in a pretty short period of time with the correct direction and with coachable athletes, which is another aspect we really try to work on here. There's a pretty big difference coaching, obviously, football versus volleyball. In football, you need to instill that run through a wall mentality. And sometimes it's really hard to get past that split-second hesitation that comes at the end of a block or at the end of a tackle. It's not easy for everyone to wrap their mind around physically dominating somebody else. In volleyball, I had to adjust big time to make it a more mental game because there is a time and place for energy here. There is a time and place for physicality. There is an advantage to being bigger or stronger than the other team. But without learning how to harness that mentally, it's all useless. So the way to coach effectively, in my opinion, on the volleyball court is to start with the brain, start with the mind, start with visualizing success, understanding that if you watch that ball into your arms, it'll go where you need it to go. Understanding that if you use the right technique, you're gonna achieve the results that you want to achieve. And then as we continue to progress with technique, as we continue to progress with our awareness and with our mind, we start to slowly add in pace. We start to slowly increase our arm swing. We start to slowly jump higher. And then the idea is, after a couple years, after a couple seasons, after 1 season, after 1 month, you are hitting the ball harder. You are putting the ball where it needs to be. You are becoming a reliable terminator on the outside and somebody that your team can rely on to score points. So there are a lot of very good coaching tips that you can give in volleyball, and they all start with the mind.